First of all, what do you see here? Is this a penalty or not? No matter what you think, the Arsenal-Bayern Munich game was definitely a very interesting one. Now, I said Arsenal could win going into the game, and I still think we probably, on the basis of the game, could have probably won that day. I think overall, a lot of the players really did try their best, and I think our systems weren't too bad, but Bayern Munich were much better than a lot of people thought they were going to be, and they were very good on that transition that keeps catching us out in this competition. But to me, the main issue for Arsenal was naivety and not being confident enough in possession. I think yet again some of our players absolutely could not deal with the expectations of the Champions League, and we know how good our defence is, but they really let us down in multiple parts this time. And realistically, both the Bayern Munich goals are just massive individual mistakes, sometimes even by multiple players in the same move, that caused us to be screwed. For the first goal, I think we're not intense enough trying to win the ball back. We've got Kivior standing way off of the players, which is just not good enough. Gabriel has been pushed out wide by the movement, and Rice is in loads of space in the middle. This is where they isolate Rice and they put it in behind him. With Gnabry running in from the inside, we simply just can't catch it. And it was actually a really good goal for Bayern Munich. I think they deserve a lot of credit, and I think both their wingers were quite effective, especially in the first half. But it just seems so easy for them. They do a couple of really good through balls on the transition, and we don't really know how to react. We didn't have that much intensity, and we're so nervous actually making a decision early on. And I was someone who praised Kivior a lot in the Porto game, and I think going into this game I could understand Arteta wanting to play him because of that performance there, but he really was not good enough today. He kept getting turned by Sane, and that was really what caused the problems leading to the second goal. Now, you can always say about the fact that Saliba and Raya also created chaos in the defence, which I think is fair, but I think Kivior is not a great one-on-one defender sometimes, and today against a tricky winger like Sane, he really struggled. I really wanted to see Tomiyasu come in, and yet again he didn't bring Tomiyasu on a half-time. He brought in Zinchenko, which I thought was a weird decision and didn't exactly make us any better, because I don't think Zinchenko was brilliant when he came on. And even when Koeman came on, he did give us problems, and they probably should have scored a winner off the post, missed a big chance. But at the end of the day, Bayern Munich didn't create a lot in the game, but what they did is they created good chances, and when they were really got their play in, they did play for us quite easily, but that's how good of a team they are. I think our tactics and system and our manager is better at the moment than their team, but they just seem to have that sort of cohesion and the belief that they can actually go out and score, where we just are a bit naive, I think, in possession. But with that being said, there definitely was positives of the game, and I do want to speak about them because it isn't all negative. We did draw 2-2, and I know at the Emirates with all the fans we had, that's not the best result, but we can always try and get something away at the Allianz. It's definitely not over, and if anything, we are the underdogs now going away and having to get a result in that game, so I think that might benefit us a lot more than people making us out to be the main people in this game. I think Arteta did have a mixed bag as well. Obviously, I'm not really sure about the Kivior start. That was pretty poor in the end, but I can understand why he wanted to play him there, and I don't think Jorginho worked completely either like he did against Porto. In the Champions League, I think his pace and mobility gets found out, and I know there's always question marks on Partey's availability and fitness, but maybe we should consider playing him if we move into the future. I also think Zinchenko coming on was a bit of a weird one. I get he wanted us to have probably more control in midfield and allow Rice to be a bit more freer, which is fair enough, but Zinchenko's passing when he came on I thought was quite poor. I also don't think it made us much better, but we move on from that. However, I do like some of the other substitutions he did. Gabriel Jesus I thought was actually really good in this game. He came on, he added something different. He has a lot of composure and dribbling when it comes to not shooting, and actually created a lot of chances, and that assist he got for our second goal was brilliant. Absolutely does the lick on a fake shot and passes it into Trossard, who also came off the bench and I thought added some energy that we needed later on. Good finish for his goal, and I really liked his intensity as well. And Trossard is now keep scoring in these big games. He's been a very consistent output in this season for Arsenal, and when we need really important goals, so I wouldn't even mind Trossard getting a lot more minutes when he comes on in the future. And there was a few players I thought were really good on the night. For Odegaard yet again was brilliant. His intensity, his pressing, how he runs around the pitch so much, he definitely is a leader for us, and I thought today he was really good. I think him going deeper at the start didn't necessarily work, but that's not on him. I think that's more of a tactical side, and I think our right side was very good. That's why we mostly went down there. I do feel bad for Martinelli in the left side because we just didn't go down that side. I think in the first half it was about 11% of our chances we actually went down there. But Saka I thought was really good. He scored a really good goal, of course. Obviously you can go on about the penalty. I don't really know if it's a pen. I don't think it's clear and obvious obvious that it is a pen or isn't a pen, so I sort of go with what the referee says. But I can understand why people are pissed off, because I do think Neuer does move his foot forward. And I thought Ben White was really good as well. Obviously, he did miss that massive chance to make it 2-0 early on, and which could have probably given us a big lifeline and probably made us win this game quite easily, getting a big 2-0 lead at the start. But then again, he did do brilliant defending, I think, for most of the game, and he saved us a goal with that brilliant run back against Sane, putting Sane off with Odegaard, so they both deserve a lot of credit for that. But it's surprising that our defence was probably the ones that let us down when they've been so consistent. They're so good in the Premier League that I was expecting them to be as good, but I knew that there would definitely be nerves in there, and it just seems to affect them so much. I don't know why they get so nervous in these games comparatively to games they play in the Premier League. Away at Man City is a tough game and they show all their composure in that, but in these games they just completely can't do it. And hopefully it comes with experience and playing more of these games. And I think maybe because this is our first season in the Champions League back, I think this is too early for our team to really go and win this competition or go far. It might have to be something we wait for next year, because these players do need more experience clearly at this level, because we know they've got the quality. It just does come down to that mental side of the game. And obviously I don't think Saliba and Gabriel necessarily were bad in this game. I think overall you can say they were pretty decent, or at least average, you would say. In the first half there was a few passes they kept putting going astray, especially from Saliba, and I don't really necessarily blame him for the 2 goals, because it's really good play, and I think people like Kivior definitely don't help them move. It's obviously not great it coming anyway, and I think Raya as well also was a bit nervous and created a lot of chaos that didn't help our team. We need to keep the composure back there, and that wasn't there in the first half. But I don't think it's the end of the world, this result. We drew 2-2 against a really good Bayern Munich side. I know they haven't been great in the league, but I do think that is necessarily been down to the stuff going on back room, but they've still got a very good attacking side. I do think their defense is very concerning, and I think we can still exploit that in the second leg. But obviously there's a lot of naivety with our team, but I think it shows a lot that we can compete at this level. We're in the Champions League quarter-final. We weren't even in this competition last year. We were in the Europa League losing to Sporting on penalties. So the amount of improvement and progress that the team has made in a year is definitely something not to be frowned about, and it would be very hypocritical to just expect to win these games. I feel like I understand our team is very good, but you have to work your way up, and it has to be slowly. The Champions League is always going to be a hard tournament. Even if you are an amazing team, you could just get unlucky and concede some absolute wonder goals or some crazy own goals. I mean, just look at the Man City and Real Madrid game. Both teams created less than 1 XG against each other and drew 3-3 because they just kept scoring screamers. This can happen at this level, and sometimes you get found out with just small little mistakes within games, even if you are a better overall team. But I think we'll learn from this, and I think we can go into the future being a bit more happy and excited. But going into this game, I did say that it's not the end of the world if we don't get a positive result, and I think 2-2 isn't necessarily a negative result, but considering we probably should have had a penalty and we made some really bad individual mistakes, I can definitely see why people were a bit upset, because we probably could have won it. But I still think overall it's still a decent result for us, and it shows the progress we've made. We can compete at this level, and we've got to just try and make sure our focus is where it needs to be. Now, the Champions League is a hard tournament. We've got a big game against Bayern obviously next Wednesday as our second leg, but we have Aston Villa this weekend, an equally bigger game in the Premier League, because we need to win all of them as well. I don't want us doing what we did against Sporting and absolutely throwing, and then Saliba getting injured and then us losing the league title because of that. I'd rather just focus on one at a time, because I don't think our team is good enough to win both of them this season. Now, I was definitely wrong with certain things that happened, but I think Arsenal still played to a decent enough level, and I think Bayern Munich are a very good team. They haven't had the best season, but that doesn't take away from the attacking quality that they have. Their wingers, Harry Kane, are insane, and Musiala, of course. So fair play to Bayern Munich, and hopefully our team will learn from this, at least going into the second leg. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments about the game, and let me know if you thought it was a penalty or not, because that's the big talking point right now. And if you enjoyed this video, hopefully you can like and subscribe, and if not, I'll see you in the next one.